You're doing well this morning, and thank you for joining us for this pre-departure meeting. Well, a few of you had some questions, and so I thought it'd be good for us to have a Zoom call with the Go Next representatives that I think could answer your questions. So first, I want to introduce to you Pamela Jones. She is your host for the trip. I know she's reached out to you before, and so I thought it'd be good for Pamela. Do you want to say a couple of words?
Just hi, everybody. I'm really excited to meet you all in person, but it's nice to see your faces, and I'm excited to travel with you all. And Regina and I are here, obviously, to answer any questions you have. And I gave you all my contact information, so feel free to use my cell phone number if you need it at any time as well.
All right, great. Okay. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Regina. I'm the director of the Spartan Pathways Travel Program. And today we also have Emily Den and Julie Moray from Go Next, and they're here to go over details regarding the trip. And so take it away, Emily and Julie.
All right. I'm Julie Moray. I am the travel operations manager here at Go Next, and I'm going to go over pretty much everything that gets you to the cruise ship, and then Emily will handle it from the cruise ship on. So you guys all should have received your final documents. They were sent out on March 8th, so everybody should have those. It's super important that you open and print every attachment that is there. So there is the documents from Oceana, but then if you're on the pre-cruise, there's pre-cruise documents. There's important general information, which is what I'm going to cover a lot of today, but it's important that you have all that information. One of the first things I want to make sure that everybody does before you leave home, or even by the end of the day, is please enter our after hours emergency cell phone number in your cell phone. So if you need to get a hold of us, you're not searching for a number, it's right there in your phone already. It's on the top of the document, but I will also tell you, I can just read it off to you. The number is 612-802-5560. And that will be from March 25th through the 27th. That phone will be on. It is a cell phone. We have one person that will be on call. If she needs help, she calls out an SOS and a bunch of us jump in and help her out. But for the most part, it is one person. So if you get voicemail, it doesn't mean that they're not there. It means that they're helping someone else. So you can just leave a message, tell them what you need, and they will call you back. Because it's a cell phone, you can also text. So if you need to send a text and say, hey, I missed my flight or whatever, let us know that. If something happens while you're traveling, if your flight is delayed or you're going to miss your connection or whatever, please, first thing you need to do is go stand in line at the airport with that airline and then call us. There's a really good possibility, because we then have to call Oceana, which is their after hours service. They have to work with the airlines. There's a really good possibility you're going to get it figured out and handled at the airport faster than we will be able to on our end. Not to say we're not going to work on it. We absolutely are. So we'll help you out, but the best place for you to be is in line. If your flight is changed at all, please make sure that you send us your flight information. You can either, again, call or you can text it to that cell phone, because once you get to Tahiti, if you have ground transportation that you've paid for and we don't know that your flight has been changed, they will not be there to pick you up. So then you're going to be dealing with your flight's been delayed and now there's no transportation. You're going to be frustrated to start off your vacation, and we don't want that to happen. Question? No? Okay, sorry. So the documentation that you need, documentation that you need is your passport. Also, please bring your vaccination card. Right now in Tahiti, there's just, the requirements are different everywhere. You don't need to bring a negative test or anything at this point, but please make sure, if something changes, we will let you know for the most part, but if something changes, like the day you're traveling or something, you need to be aware. So make sure that you're checking the entry requirements for that country. Once you get to the airport, or actually, let me say before you go, when you pack your luggage, if you're traveling with someone else, we strongly suggest that you split your items. So half of your stuff goes in one piece of luggage, the other half of your stuff goes in the other piece of luggage, so that if one piece of luggage is lost or delayed, you'll at least have something to wear. You'll have some clean clothing. So that's just a nice little tip. The other thing is prescription medications. They need to stay in their original bottle with the prescription on it. I know that that can be a little bit of a hassle. If you've got several, you're bringing several bottles instead of some nice little pill box, which is super easy, but you have to be able to identify what they are and not just being able to tell the person. So in customs, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be a problem, but there may be that one time that it is. And the last thing you want is to have your prescription meds confiscated and you're in Tahiti without what you need. And put those in your carry-on. Do not put those in your check luggage. So make sure that you have those in your carry-on. For those of you that are arriving into Tahiti early, so if you arrive into Tahiti, let's see, before 10 a.m., you are going to be taken to the Tahitian Pearl Resort. So they'll take you right from the airport to the resort. You'll be there. They'll give you a time that they'll pick you up again and take you to the port. If you arrive after 10 a.m., they're going to take you just directly to the ship. And then on the return, if you are a late departure, they will take you, again, they will take you to the Endeavor Lounge at the Tahiti Pearl. And same thing, you'll get lunch. On the arrival one, you'll get snacks and breakfast if you're really, really early. On the departure, you'll get lunch and additional snacks. The Tahitian Pearl is a big, huge resort. You do not have access to the entire resort, but they do have day passes if you choose to purchase a day pass to go sit out at the beach and use the pool and all the other stuff. Otherwise, it's just basically a room for you to kind of gather, keep your luggage there. It's someplace to sit rather than sitting at the airport because the Tahiti airport is very small. When you get there, if for some reason your luggage is misplaced and you can't find it, make sure that you fill out the lost luggage form at the airport before you get on the transfer. It's super important to do it there versus after you've already left the airport. Once you've left the airport, it's a lot harder to do the forms. So, gosh, I think that's all I have.
Okay,
It's on to you.
perfect. I'm Emily. I am the client service manager. So I work with Regina in other schools. I also work directly with the hosts. Any questions that they might have to help them to make the cruise smooth. I'm going to talk about once you land and then till the end of the cruise. So once you've landed in Tahiti and you've cleared customs, if that's where you're clearing customs, you're going to want to grab your luggage and head towards the ground transportation. Depending on each area of the world right now, our ground transportation people for the transfers may be able to come in. We're not for sure. So if you don't see anybody inside the airport, I would walk to ground transportation, head outside the doors. If you are on our Go Next free cruise, a Go Next representative will meet you to pick you up at the airport and to bring you to the hotel. And if you are on an Oceania transfer, then Oceania will pick you up at the airport and bring you to the ship. These transfers may or may not be there right when you land. So I would give it some time. And if you think you've waited too long, go ahead and give the on-call phone a ring and then we can see where they're at. If your flight though is, scheduled to land at 2:30, but you land at 2 o'clock, they may or may not know that you've landed early. So just be patient and wait for the transfer. And like I said, you can always call the on-call and we can figure it out.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How are we supposed to know if we're on the Go Next transfer or Oceania?
So are you on the pre-cruise?
We come in 5:30 in the morning on Monday.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what's your last name?
Rowley, Rowley, and Endres, Endres.
Okay. So you guys have an Oceania transfer. So you will look for an Oceania transfer.
Okay. And what else? And are we, I take it we're supposed to pick all of our luggage up and take with us?
Correct. Yep. And once you get to the transfer, they'll load it onto the transfer for you. So anything that you want to keep with you, your handbags, which has any important anything in it, credit cards, medication, keep that with you because your luggage will then go on the bus. And then once you, depending on if you're going to the hotel, it'll probably still stay on the bus. But then once you get to the ship, The porters will take your luggage and you won't see it again until you get into your rooms. So anything you need, make sure you grab that. Once you've arrived at the pier, you'll check in with Oceana. By now, you should have done online check-in, but you'll also check in there. And this is where they're going to issue your world card. Your world card is your room key. It gets you on and off the ship, and it also is your purchasing. It's like a credit card. Oceana is a cashless ship, so you will use this card for everything. Oceana does have exchange on board if you need to exchange money. Also, you could exchange money at local banks if you want. Tahiti does take the US dollar, so you would not probably need to exchange if you don't want to. One thing, if you have not received luggage tags from Oceana, you will receive luggage tags at the pier. The luggage tags go on once you arrive in Tahiti. They're for Oceana, so they know which room your luggage goes to. When you embark the ship, your cabin may or may not be ready. If it's not ready, you're able to use all the public areas on the ship. The Terrace Cafe, which is their buffet area, is also open until 4:30 in the afternoon. Casual clothing there, so that's fine. Once your cabin is ready, Oceana will announce this, and then you'll be able to get into your rooms. And depending on what cabins are opened up, your luggage may or may not be in your room right away. Don't panic. They have a lot of luggage to get to each room, so it will get there. Each night, Oceana will place like a little, it's not a magazine, it's a little paper printout, 4 pages, 5 pages, depending on what's going on. So once you're in your cabin, few things to look for. It's called the currents. And in the currents, we'll have information as to the next day, what time you need to be back on the ship. Like if you're exploring on your own, they have the ship's phone number. If you get lost and you're like, it is an hour and the ship is going to depart and we're not going to make it, you need to call the ship. There is what's going on the next day, drink specials, bingo, trivia, everything on there for the next day. When I'm getting off the ship, I like to take a picture of it or bring it with me in my backpack because there's lots of good information on the currents. Another thing in your room will be your shore excursion tickets. They'll be on the desk in an envelope, and it'll be for the entire week, all of your shore excursions. And if anybody's on a wait list for a shore excursion, this is where you're going to want to check to see, like on March 29th, you have 2 tickets that day. So if you have 2 tickets, that means you cleared your wait list. But if you had one reserved while you were waiting for the other one, you'll need to go down to Destination Services. Now that's the shore excursion desk, and they're going to help you if you need to cancel anything, if you want to add something. They're there. They're right next to our hospitality desk, which is on desk 5. Another thing about the cabins, it is 1 internet per room. So when you log into the internet, like I'll be using it, but if Julie wants to get on, I have to log off. They do have additional packages you can purchase. However, you're on vacation, I wouldn't purchase anything. And it is satellite internet, so it can be spotty. So you can send emails. It's not for streaming, but they do have an upgraded service you could do if you wanted. The staterooms have 2 110s. And then they have 2 220s. And they also have a hairdryer in the room. So if you're just going on the ship, you don't need a converter. If you're going to the pre-cruise, you may need a converter. Let's see here. Oceana is country club casual. And what that means for them is no jeans, no shorts, and no beach flip-flops for the specialty dining and for the grand dining room. The Terrace Cafe, and then there's a little Kona grill out by the pool. You can pretty much wear whatever you want. No, you got to cover up. You can't wear a swimsuit. So you do have to be covered for that. But just the specialty restaurants and the grand dining, no shorts, jeans, or flip-flops. Some people do dress up. It's whatever you guys are comfortable with. You can just wear a collar for the men. Some men do wear suit jackets. It's just whatever your preference is. And by now you should have received a list of your onboard events for this sailing. And if you haven't, you can let us know, or if Regina I'm sure Regina has a copy, which she could send it out. This is a list of what's happening while you guys are on board. I have it right here, and we will also give you invitations in your door. So you'll be a reminder. You don't have to keep this. You don't have to print. You don't have to bring it. We will send you invitations. On the 1st or March 28th is the captain's reception. And right now the time is to be announced. So normally it's about 6:30. It's, drinks and canapes, and then you just meet the staff. And then on March 29th is our Go Next reception. This is where our program manager, Lydia, who is actually a local of Tahiti. So if you have any questions, she's the one. And then Laura Lee Miller, she is also going to be one of your program managers. They'll host this evening for you guys. They'll tell you what they're there to assist you with. They're there. They're almost like your concierge. To help you with what you guys need on board. And then you guys will have the party with, Pamela and everybody, and you'll be in your little area, but then every other school will also be in the room. So you can mingle, you can whatever, talk to whoever you want. So that's on the 29th. And then on March 30th, we're going to have another reception. This is going to be a smaller venue. It's going to be you guys at 6:30. And then we have a group dinner on April 4th. And what that is we have you meet at the grand staircase. And I know a lot of schools, I don't know if you're sending a flag with Regina or not, or you wear your school colors, and then you stand at the grand staircase and we take your pictures, just a nice photo op. And then after that, we will bring you to the grand dining room for a group dinner. Like I said, program managers, they're on deck 5. And when you get on board, it is a long flight, so if you just need to relax and you don't go visit them, that's fine. But this is where you're going to get your badges. So if you don't have time to get to the program manager desk, they'll bring it to the reception. So no worries about that. Now let's see here. Yep, I'll send you a list. I'll send you a list, Pamela, for sure. Like I said, shore excursions are going to be in your room. And now I don't know if it's a little different with Tahiti. For shore excursions, you're actually going to dispatch from the pier. So if you've been on an ocean from the lounge, but because Tahiti is so small, you go outside and then they'll call your number and then you'll dispatch from there. One thing that I like to tell people, if you guys want to put in the corner of your ticket, just Michigan or then what this does is our program managers then will see your school name in the corner of the ticket. And if anybody else is going to look at Pearls that day, then you guys will be on the same bus. And if nobody's doing that tour with you, you'll still be with other Go Next passengers versus Oceana passengers. We do try to keep you guys all together. And they do get a list of you guys the night before. So that's one thing they will give you, Pamela, the night before. You'll know what shore excursion everybody's on, because even if we have a list right now, one thing that shore excursions change a lot once you're on board. The destination services desk, the first day, it's a very, very busy place. So don't get discouraged. Just walk around, explore the ship, and then go back and check it out to see if if the line has gone down. Shore excursions, people ask all the time about tipping. It's really up to your discretion. If you think the guide is good and the driver is good, you can go ahead and tip them. It's completely up to you. And again, they accept US dollars. Another thing about tipping on board the ship, midway through the cruise, you will receive an invoice. And on the invoice, your tips will be on there. So you can either take them off if you guys choose to tip, your people directly, or if you want to do less, or if you want to do more, it depends. So if you're in a penthouse and above, it's $23 a day per person, and then it just divvies out for everybody on the ship. If you're concierge and below, it is $18 per person per day. Again, you can change it with reception. That is also on deck 5. And the concierge desk for Oceana is also on deck 5. It's right at the bottom of the grand staircase. So it's really just all right there. Midway through on this invoice, you're also going to want to check if you see any charges that you're like, nope, I didn't have that bottle of wine, or nope, I didn't have this. So if you have any charges that you think are incorrect, definitely discuss this with reception like 2 nights before you leave, or right when you see it, because you don't want to wait till the last day when you're disembarking, because there may or may not be anybody at the reception desk because everybody's getting off in the morning. And then you'll also mid-cruise get a questionnaire asking you about your flight times. They know your flight times, but maybe you've changed your flight time. So they want to get your information of your flight times, and then they will arrange a transfer bus, and you'll get a ticket, and you'll either be purple, blue, whatever, and you'll disembark from the lounge there, and they'll call out bus blue is ready, and it's based on the time of your flight. So you'll get that before you leave. Is there any questions right now? I'm going to look through and see if I've missed anything. Do you guys have questions?
Yeah, my question is, we leave at 10:50 or something that night after the day we get off the boat. So do we get bused to the resort place until that time?
Yep, you do.
Okay, and then
Yep.
they take us to the airport in time. We don't go
Yes.
through customs going home, right? Coming back?
You go through
So we get
customs
to
once you
LA.
land. Yep, yep.
Okay. Now, and I talked to my friend here. Yesterday, we got the message saying that we had to have a visa.
Where'd you get that message from?
I don't know, maybe it was not.
Air Tahiti Nui was
Yeah.
talking about needing a visa when we're at the airport, but because we're US citizens, I don't think that applies to us. So.
No, I don't believe so. I'll look at that. That's a first for us. So we've not heard that,
Another.
but I will verify.
Shoot, no, I forgot what I was gonna ask. Well, if I think of it, I'll ask.
Okay.
Yep.
I have a question. Actually, I have 2 quick questions. One is regarding the pre-cruise excursion on the 27th. Do you know approximately what time we will be returning from that half-day excursion so that we can select the appropriate time for check-in for Oceana?
Just put 1 o'clock.
Okay, and then.
They just need to, the reason they ask that is they just kind of want to make sure they have enough staffing. So just put 1 o'clock. That's usually, it's not like if you show up at 2 o'clock, they're not going to let you on. So.
Okay, and then my last question, just to confirm the ground transportation, since we're taking the pre-cruise activity, once we land and we clear customs and we grab our bags, should we be looking for a Go Next sign that has our name on it, or how will it be identified?
It's usually just a Go Next sign, and we usually use like hot pink or fluorescent orange or green or like neon green, and it'll say Go Next. And they normally are just holding it. The bus also, we try to put a Go Next sign in the bus window. So that's what you should be looking for, a Go Next sign.
Okay, so it won't be specific to the passenger. It'll say Go Next on it.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I had another question about the pre-cruise as well. And the information I received, the only thing it says is that we'll be leaving after breakfast. So does after breakfast mean 7 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning, or are they?
When you get there and check in, when you check into the hotel, they'll let you know exactly what time you need to be down in the lobby.
Yeah, it's usually about 9. Yeah, they'll have for the pre-cruise, they'll have a board that'll tell you, like what's going on when. And it's usually about 9 o'clock, 9:30 that you'll depart for your half-day excursion.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
The other question that I've had a couple of people ask, I heard you mention that day passes are available at the Tahitian and Pearl. Do you know, does that give people access to like the beach, the pool?
The day, yeah,
and
the
then-
day pass will. We don't know how much they are. We haven't been able to find that out yet. We've asked, but we don't have the answer yet.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
But it might be that last day.
One of the things I thought maybe it would be good to mention, Emily, you had talked about charges and so forth on your account on board the ship. They do have a good TV system now in which you can access all your charges and all your information right on the TV. So the TV is kind of your friend. There's a lot of information when you access that. So I know some people don't even want to have the TV on, but just so you know, there is those tools available to you.
Good to know.
I remember what my question was. When we go off the ship, because we have a key card, should we also take our passport or leave it back?
I would leave it back. That's my personal preference. I wouldn't want to carry it around anywhere with me. But I guess it's up to you guys what you
No,
want to
I'm
do.
okay with it. I just wanted to make sure because I just got off a cruise where we just needed the key card to get back on or anything.
Yep, yeah, that's all you'll need to get on, correct.
All right.
The other thing I'll say about passports is it's really smart to take photos or make copies of your passport and keep them in a separate place. So I will leave a copy at home and then also bring a copy with me and leave it in the stateroom as well. So just other ideas for passport.
I also want to mention, if you like, Tahiti is beautiful. I've been there actually a couple of times, and there are certain, there's a lot of beach time that is available. If you choose to go to a beach and just want to wade in the water, I do suggest bringing water shoes. It can be quite rocky, so it's beautiful and it's sandy, but there's also rocks and broken up shells in the water, so it's good to bring those.
Pamela, I have a question for you. I'm guessing that you have something planned for the basketball championship that we're going to be playing in while we're on board.
Oh, Mary, this happened to me on another cruise, and I'm gonna be sad to inform you, it is very hard for them to get any type of live television like that. We can try. Last time they weren't able to get the game that Michigan State happened to be playing in, but
Tell
TBD.
them to work
No,
hard.
I understand that, but I'm just wondering, like, are you, as our cruise director, are you going to have like, a Spartan flag and,
Yes.
other things like that to identify our awesome group?
Yes, we will have all of those fun things throughout the trip. There's a lot of fun little Spartan surprises. So you will be geared up and identifiable as Spartans.
Thank
I
you.
can say I was on a cruise during the Super Bowl, and they were able to, they actually had a little party, a Super Bowl party. Now, we weren't out in the South Pacific, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to, but if they know that is like the championship game, I think they will try to see if they can televise it, but no guarantees.
I'm not sure anybody can answer this question for me, but I get headaches and I have Serenol that I can take, which is kind of considered a narcotic, butabitol. Is that something I can bring on board?
Yeah, as long as it's a prescription and it's in its original bottle, you're good.
Okay, that's what I needed. I just don't want to do anything illegal.
No.
I want
You
to
guys,
come
one
back
thing-
home.
Right. One thing I failed to mention is your cell phone. Make sure that you get international put on your cell phone. So you might think I'm not going to call anybody, but you still please put international on your cell phone. We've had a couple of incidents where someone had to leave the ship and come home because they were injured or sick or whatever, and they didn't have cell service with them, and it was a nightmare. So please put cell service, international cell service on your phone.
And where can you use, if you do that, where can you use it? Only when you're in port or on the ship?
No, you can use it on board, but I will tell you, it's going to be a little spotty and everything else, depending on what your service is and everything else. Again, you're in the South Pacific, so there's not many cell towers in the South Pacific, so it's a little difficult, but make sure that you have it on your thing, and just call your carrier. Some people already have it on as part of their package, but if not, add it on. I think mine last time was like $10 a day, so.
Yeah, I know Verizon has a plan where you can, if you don't use it, you don't get charged that day, but if you use it, it's $10 a day. And there's so many gigs you're allowed, so.
Yeah. And so like my plan already had it, so just definitely call and ask first. And the other piece of advice there is if you call on Wi-Fi, so like if you FaceTime, that's free. If you have the signal to be able to do that, if the Wi-Fi is working. Whereas if you call like on your actual plan, like dial and call, you will get charged for that. So some plans have like Wi-Fi calling included, so ask your provider that as well. The other question that I received, ladies, is bringing wine on board to Oceania. And I tried to Google this and it was very unclear to me what the answer was. So people can bring bottles on, and can they do that? Like if you're in Tahiti early and you buy bottles in Tahiti, can you take them onto the ship?
Yep, you can have up to 6 bottles per stateroom. So, and I don't know if there's actually anybody like checking, even if you like go off in a port and you're in Bora Bora and you bring back 2 more bottles. I don't know that they're like, oh, you know, stateroom 201 has already brought 6 bottles. And if they do, what they would just do is they would store it for you until you disembark. So.
Okay, great. Because what I read was you can bring them on to start, but in the ports, you can't. So like after the cruise starts, essentially, then they take it at when you come back on.
I think it just depends on each stop that you're at, because I brought it on and they let me bring it back to my room. And one other time when I was in Africa, I brought back this wooden mask and I got stopped and they took my mask from me and they wouldn't give that back to me till the end of the cruise. So I think it just really depends on who's working the gate.
Okay, that's helpful.
So-
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Well, if you do, just reach out to myself or Pamela and we will get the answers for you. Okay,
Thank
all
you.
right. Anything else, Emily and Julie?
Nope, I think we're
Nothing
good. I'll
else.
get you that manifest, Pamela, and I'll send it over to you when I get out of here.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, I
Thank you.
wish
Enjoy your
everyone
trip.
a wonderful trip. And yes, it's beautiful there. The water's gorgeous. And so I hope you all enjoy yourself and safe travels. Thanks for joining us. And go
you.
green.
Very helpful.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, it should be